It's Stephen, and I thought I'd talk today about something that is not really that new on the market, but it's new to me, and that's Project Life. Now, if you're not familiar with Project Life, there's all kinds of YouTube videos out there showing what people do with Project Life, and I'm going to show you what I've done with it. But before I start, I want to tell you why I haven't gotten into Project Life until now. First of all, Project Life is a system of pockets, pre-formatted pages that have different pocket configurations to hold 3x4 and 4x6 pictures. And the reason I didn't get into it is simply because I thought, well, this is just sticking pictures in pockets. It's not much better than those old-fashioned type of what they called magnetic photo albums. So I wasn't really that interested in it because I thought it took away the creativity of being a scrapbooker. But I have rediscovered it. Now, I rediscovered it because I went on a cruise from Singapore to Hong Kong recently, and I had all kinds of pictures. Now, my original plan was that I was going to take my Canon Selphy printer. It's just a little printer, it's really great for printing out my pictures wirelessly from my camera and from my cell phone. And I already put together a little mini album. And my idea was I was going to pack all of this in my suitcase, and I was going to scrapbook at the days at sea that we had. And when I came home, my scrapbook would be done. However, that's not the way my plan worked out. Turns out I couldn't really get all the stuff I needed to take with me in my suitcase along with all my clothes and whatnot for the cruise. So I gave up on that idea. When I got home, I started printing out my pictures and I started putting them into the little mini album. Problem was, I found the pictures just a little bit on the small side. So I want to rethink how I was going to do this. Now, I took a lot of pictures, and my biggest problem when I take a lot of pictures on a trip is figuring out which ones I really want to use in my scrapbook pages, and I end up using probably more than I should. So I wanted to do this fast because I was going on another trip in another couple of months' time, and I didn't want to have this hanging over my head. I wanted it done. So I kind of got looking at Project Life, and I thought, well, you know, I could do Project Life. It's, to me still, it's just a glorified photo album, but maybe I can make it my own. So I went onto YouTube and looked at what other people were doing, and lo and behold, I kind of started to think outside of the box. That this could be whatever I wanted it to be. I didn't have to stick to the page pocket format. I could add my embellishments. I could do interesting things with the pages. I could do a little what I want to call hybrid scrapbooking, putting traditional pages in amongst the pocket pages. So that's what I've done. I have absolutely fallen in love with Project Life. I love it. This is great when you have a lot of pictures and you want to do an album quick. It eliminates having to figure out what your layout is going to look like. But it also has versatility. You can add things to it. You can really make it your own. So I'm going to show you what I did. I'm going to do it very quickly because you really don't want to go through the whole book with all my pictures. But I'm just going to show you some of the things that I did to make this my own. So this is my album. I got a travel album, and I affixed this onto the cover of it, so I have a title page. And inside, and it's going to be hard to get everything in one shot right here in the way I have my setup, but one of the things that I love about Project Life is that you can get these tab dividers. And I thought this was great. I put them all through my book. You can see them back in here. I labeled them what the place was that I was at, and I added, using my Cricut, I cut out these little nameplates, title pieces, and I add a little Wink of Stella to those to give them a little bit of glimmer, because I love Wink of Stella. So here's my first page, and as you can see, I actually went on the computer and printed out a map of the Singapore area, and I've added embellishments. Now I also matted the pictures. Now this is an option. You can simply stick into the pockets the pictures as they're printed. You don't need to mat them, but being the traditional scrapbooker in me who loves to mat photos, I decided to mat them. So I did them all in black, so I didn't have to worry throughout the album about color combinations. And then I added my embellishments, so these little frames. And these are things from my stash that I had. and I just added them to the pages. Now, one thing I found was I tried to glue some of these to the outside of the pages on the plastic, and I guess the glue I was using it dried, but then they just peeled right off. The ones that already have a sticky back on them seem to stick better. So in that case, what I did, as you'll see in this album, is it didn't stick to the outside. I put it right on the picture and put the picture inside, and that held it down pretty good. So you can see this is the kind of thing I did. I used some of my digital techniques, and I did some journaling right on some of my pictures before I printed them. I did my own journaling card, as you can see here as well. But as time went on, I invested in the little pre-made cards that you can get in 4x6 and 3x3, and I use those for journaling as well. You can see the different formations here. I'm going to move this over a little bit so you can see that a little better. And there's a glare. There you go. So this is 4x6. There are so many different layout combinations you can get, and I think I bought every one of the kits. I never do anything halfways. I bought it all. The other thing that I like is you can take 8.5 by 11 page protectors, the type of thing you just buy at Staples, and you can stick memorabilia in these. You can also get blank 8 by 10 pages like this from Project Life as well. You can also get blank 12 by 12, and I'll show you one of those in a minute. But here I can put whatever I want, and so as part of my journaling, I also included the daily bulletins on the cruise. And on the back of this one, I did some journaling as well. So you can see there's room for, here's some of these background cards in here, and I stuck a ticket on both of these from one of the sites that we saw. Again, more embellishments on the pages. Now here's something really interesting. So I decided to do a mosaic. So I took one of the page protectors with its pockets, I printed out one of my pictures as a 12 by 12, and then I just simply cut it into the dimensions of each of the pockets and dropped it in here. Added a few embellishments. So there you get away from the pre-formatted pockets a little bit and do something a little more creative. And I did the same on the back of this page as well. Again, I'm out of the shot. So you can see there's another potential. Now I didn't do it in this book, but I have seen it done where you can take one of these pockets and double your real estate by creating a hinge with washi tape of another card, and so this part slides into the pocket. The hinged part hangs out here, but it flips over top, so you have sort of an interactive thing. I'm going to do that in one of my other albums. I didn't do it in this one. So again, here are some more different configurations. And you see here, I deviated a little bit from using just the plain black, and I used some of the background cards that you can buy. Now here is a more traditional scrapbook page that I did. I took a couple of pictures that I really like, and I just went ahead, and there's that glare again. I'll try to get rid of that. And I just did my own traditional scrapbooking page, and I just put it into one of the 12 by 12 sleeves. And there's another example on the other side. So see, you can interspace some of your more traditional scrapbooking pages as well. So as you go through this, you can see there's another formation right there, much bigger, 6 by 6s. So really it's endless. And here's another divider and more pictures. Now another thing that I did, of course you can cut down if you have the Fuse tool, which I bought way before I got into Project Life and hardly ever used it. Now I'm using it a lot with Project Life. It works so well with it for customizing your pockets or making new ones. So I made my own pocket here out of a page protector, a standard page protector from Staples. I just cut it down and I sealed it using the Fuse tool. Now here I also used the Fuse tool to increase my real estate. These were a set of postcards that I cut apart that I bought, and I didn't really want to fill up a lot of pages with these postcards, so I bought some extra little sleeves that you can get, and you just fuse them and it becomes a waterfall effect. And I did that to get more real estate out of the pages. Again, here's another more traditional page that I did, same on this side, and so on. So this was very fast. Some more flip-ups. This was very fast. It holds a lot of pictures, as you can see. And I really found it worthwhile. And especially that you can go ahead and do this hybrid kind of thing with your traditional pages, as well as the Project Life. Here's another larger piece of journaling. Again, in a page protector, fit right in. I like the D-rings in the binders. Traditionally, my scrapbooks have all been post-bound, but you know, they're a real bugger to reorganize your pages and get them in and out. And then if you want to make it a little bigger and you put those extension posts on, I don't know about you, but every time I buy extension posts, half the time they don't work with the posts that are already in the album. They don't screw in properly. This avoids a lot of that. And you see I added my own little embellishments and things to each of the pages as well. So yes, Project Life, I really think this is the way to go. Here's a page that actually it didn't come this way. I used my fuse tool to cut half the page down because I just wanted a small section to finish off this area of the book. So that was easy to do with the fuse tool. Why the fuse tool, not a pair of scissors? Well, the fuse tool helps you to seal certain areas. So I do recommend it if you're using Project Life. So there you go. Some more, another page that I customized. And inserts like this, not a problem. This was a little pop-up card kind of a thing. I just put it on a piece of cardstock. I was able to punch it with a standard 3-hole punch, insert it into my album. So really, I am a believer in Project Life. I am in such a believer. Oh yeah, here. All my pictures I always put on CDs or DVDs, and right here in the pockets I can keep my CDs handy, because some of these have movies on them too that I can show. So yes, as I said, I'm really sold on Project Life now. So sold on it that I went out and I got myself, and I'm just going to get it, I got one of their personal planners. Now I've customized the front page of this. I have always used a personal planner of some sort, but the beauty of this personal planner in Project Life is you can add elements to it like you would in a larger scrapbook. And at the end of the year, you've got a memory with pictures of what you did in that past year. They come in different formats. You can get little pockets to put the pictures in. You see, I put little memorabilia in here. In this, because it's a planner, I do these very quick. This is where my Canon Selfie comes in really handy for printing these out. And I just write. I don't like my own handwriting, but in an album like this, that's okay because I'm going to be writing in it anyways on the calendar pages. So I just made little notes of different events, and I use some of these little cards to fill in spaces. I'm really a sucker for these little cards. I've got hundreds of them now. They come in what they call the core kits. And I just add things for each month. I even, when I'm doing my planning, I use these cards instead. My creative ideas, things I want to attempt, that kind of thing. And I stick them right in with the weekly schedule. And so what I'll have at the end of the year is I'm going to have what I did that whole year, plus I'm going to have pictures, and I'm going to have my little notes and things like that. And all of this is a little scrapbook in itself. So I really, really like this whole concept. So anyways, that's my life with Project Life, and it isn't exactly the way that they put it together for you to use, but you know, make it your own. Make it your personal Project Life, and I think it's great, and I can't wait to show you other things that I'll do with future ones. So thanks a lot. Bye bye.